Hello, Tom Fontana here yet again with On the Rocks, where a friend of mine and I talk about many things, including bourbon. So this week, we're going to try something that I have never had. I was given it as a gift. I've never had it. We're going to try it. We're going to see if we like it. It is called chicken cock. And which I believe is a rooster, because there's a rooster on the label. It says that it is the famous old brand established in 1856. So, we're going to try that in a minute. But first, I want to introduce good friend, old pal, talented young man. Okay, not young. Joe Cacaci. He's a writer, he's a director, he's a producer. He's a shuffleboard champion. Okay, I made that up. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Tom.
All right, so can I pour you some?
Please.
Chicken cock.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. 1861, huh?
1856.
56.
So pre-Civil War.
Right. Okay, that one's yours.
Oh,
And a little, that's good.
okay.
It's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, but it's 10 o'clock in
Spain,
London.
I know.
All right, well, it's great to
Cheers,
see
Tom.
you.
Thank you
for coming.
For having me.
And here we go.
All right.
Now, the reason that I asked Joe to be on the rocks today is because next Sunday we're going to be posting on Tom Fontana Presents a piece that you directed
Yes.
called
It Happened Here, 2024.
was written based on a book by our friend Rick Dresser
Correct.
and written by Rick Dresser.
Correct.
And who is in the cast?
Tony Shalhoub, Edie Falco, John Turturro, Santino Fontana, no relation to you, but a Tony winner nonetheless.
Yes.
Tom Pasinka, Molly Carden. It's quite a cast.
You recorded it when?
Well, it'll be 2 years in August. Just we were trying to get it in before the election.
Yeah. And it is 6 one-hour episodes. Yes?
Yes.
We're going to post the first one and then share a link to the rest of the episodes.
Yeah.
So anyone who wants to listen to the whole thing can find a link on Tom Fontana Presents.
Yeah.
So talk a little about what the story is.
Well, Rick wrote the book, and I mean, he'd have to tell you when he started, but it came out just before the 2020 election, and it was it's an incredible piece, not just because Rick's an incredible writer, but just the style of it. It's a 14-year-old girl speaking to us from 2034. And she is interviewing 7 members of her extended family to find out why they're all living on a farm in Canada and what exactly happened to this family, because it fractured them for a while.
They started in America.
They started in America, the American family, that's right. And so she interviews each family member individually, and that's all it is. She'll ask a question, but mostly they talk. And then you cut from one character to the other, and you get, like in any good family, in America or anywhere else, completely different versions of what happened. So it's a family story, but the backdrop is as Rick was predicting might happen if he had been elected, not Rick, but you know who, in 2020, what would happen. And fortunately, and it was like a wake-up call to people, he hoped. And
Just not enough people woke up.
No, they didn't. Yeah, see, that's why the woke thing is. Why is that a bad thing, being awake? Anyway,
No. I mean, not that we want to get too in the craziness, but you know, this thing that recently happened with Mandami, saying to people to protect the electricity, put your thermostats during the day at 78, and which was the recommendation of the Department of Interior. federal Department of Interior. Suddenly, the boneheads on Fox were like, "Oh, Mr. Mayor, blah, 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 yeah. What do you?" They were all like pissing on him making this statement, even though he was taking it from the federal government. And the next day, all those references disappeared on the websites. It's a tumultuous time,
shall we say. So Rick's philosophy was that, as I think we all probably share, you can't argue people into seeing what's happening. But if you tell them a good story, and it's a family much like their own, which this is. John Turturro and Tony Shalhoub play brothers, and John is far to the right, and Tony is far to the left, and Tony's wife is Edie Falco, who's trying to make it all work, and then their kids, their adult children. And that's what gets to people. That's what we hoped would get to people. And so we thought, what could we do? What did you do in the war, Daddy? What could we do to maybe sway things?
Yeah.
We wanted to make a movie first, we realized, because we didn't get this idea until May of 2024.
Yeah.
And then we sat around, we being Rick and me and my close friend and our producing partner, John Whalen, and Elliot Forrest from WNYC, and Evangeline Morphos, who you know. And John made a budget, and it was, we thought, maybe doable to do a podcast. We could never make a movie in that amount of time. We pulled together the funds. We called Tony first. Tony called John. Willie Reale, who you know, called Edie. Our casting director, Jack Dillon, called Santino. We went on, and suddenly within 7 days we had a cast.
Wow.
Working for Bupkis.
Yeah.
Which, as you know, is the Sicilian term for not a lot of money. So off we went, and we wanted to launch it prior to the election, and we did. Brooke Gladstone's On the Media launched the first hour that you just told people about. And then over the course of 3 weeks, we had 250,000 people listening to it, which in the scheme of the millions of people who voted isn't much. But for a dramatic podcast, I'm told we ended up number one for a long time.
And it's available several places, right?
Yeah. Well, you can buy the book on Amazon, which also it's a great read.
Yeah.
It's available by going to our website. If you just Google "It Happened Here 2024," our website will come up and other things will come up, and it's just a click away. You don't have to subscribe to anything or pay. There's no paywall.
Great. All right. Anything else you want to say about it before?
Yeah, we're going to relaunch it.
Oh, great.
So this is perfect timing. So thank you. We did in December, basically, not all of the we's, but most of us, did a evening of Resistance Theater at Symphony Space, where we did your play 3 years ago for the Bicycle Initiative. And it was a collection of short plays, poems, a new song, and some speakers. Norman Siegel, the New York CLU lawyer, with the intent of trying to get the audience that night to start thinking in terms of what can I do? Mobilizing. Small things, big things, anything. And all the dramatic pieces were geared to that. We had 19 people on the stage.
Wow.
I mean, when you added it for the curtain call.
Yeah.
We now decided we want to do another evening and film it. We'll have a documentarian there to be behind the scenes with the audience, with the actors in dressing rooms, and just filming the whole thing. Then we'll do 4 days of just shooting the pieces off book, like you'd shoot a little movie. Mm-hmm. Put it all together, and we'll have a docu-fictional something.
With a live audience.
The live audience will be there when we shoot it the first time. There'll be no audience the next 3 days, so we can get close-ups.
Got it.
So it'll be a real sort of... I would say mishmash, but that sounds derogatory. But it'll be all the things together. We have great editor Susan Addis, and now all we need is $90,000, which is the exact budget for the podcast.
Where does the funding for that kind of thing come from?
That's exactly what we asked ourselves 2 years ago at this time, and then we somehow figured it out. So we're trying. We have a pitch deck. I just put it out yesterday to a couple of people. We'll see. It may never get off the ground. But the case we're trying to make is, if you're the kind of person who believes in that we're in big trouble, and you're giving money to candidates, where does that money actually go and what do they do with it?
Yeah.
You know, we're endlessly being hit for $100, $1,000, $10,000, whatever.
I give to individual candidates. I stopped giving to the U.S. Senate PAC,
Right.
Chuck Schumer,
Right.
you know, because he's deciding where my money's going to go, and I don't like the fact that it's my money and he's getting to choose. Oh, this guy can't win, so.
Yeah. Especially since all the guys he said couldn't win just won.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that people will think about putting it into something like this, which could actually be a little explosive prior to the midterms and beyond. It's not like the midterms, if they actually happen, which I don't believe they will solve things. We're in deep shit for a while. Can we say that on this? Can we use profanity?
We can say any fucking thing we want.
We're in the House of Fontana. Anyway, that's what we're trying to do now.
I'm curious, because you've been an activist for a long time. What was the moment? What was the event? What was the thing that made you say, "Okay, I'm an artist. I do my work. It's not all political. Most of it's not political, but what was the moment where you said, I've got to get involved?"
I don't know. I think about that as we're talking. But I will say, thanks for saying I've been an activist. I think I've been an activist vocally and in my head for years. But it really wasn't until the shit hit the fan, and let's figure out if we can figure out which shit hit which fan when, that I started to actually really, other than talking about it, maybe even a speech here or there, but doing something.
Yeah.
And that would have been probably, well, I'll tell you what it was. I realized when Mitch McConnell prevented him from being impeached that he was going to run again, and that him running again was now a problem. And then when Project 2025 came out, it was then that I went, okay, you can't just talk about this shit anymore. Right. You got to do something.
Right.
And I don't know how to do much except write and direct and produce, as you said in the intros, and teach. So that's kind of what kicked it off for me.
That's good.
I do have a personal axe to grind with that motherfucker, though, which is in 2013, we were doing a benefit for Berkshire Playwrights Lab. Uh-huh. And the thing for the benefits was we would have 6 or 7 short pieces written for the evening. Rick would write one, I'd write one, different people wrote. So I wrote a piece for Tony, 2013, about a businessman who's just a businessman and wants to run for president just to be able to run things. And it was profane and funny, and it had an interesting ending. And at the end of it, Tony said, we should make a movie out of this. So Tony and I said, great. Well, he was busy, I was busy. We didn't get to it for about 1.5 years. And finally, when I had the money raised to shoot the little film, Trump had announced on the gold escalator or whatever the hell he did. And I realized, you can't put this out there now. It looks like you're writing about him.
Yeah.
So he fucked me out of a movie. so on a personal level, that really pissed me off.
That is funny. Which leads me to, I want to talk a little bit about Screenplay by Stalin.
Yes.
Now, for those of you who don't know this, which is everybody, I wrote a play called Screenplay by Stalin, which is a comedy, which I'm not known for, but it's a comedy that gets serious. Mm-hmm. And it started when I was reading about Russian films, and there was a movie called The Fall of Berlin that was made shortly after the end of World War II, that Stalin, Uncle Joe, Stalin, not only gave notes on, but did rewrites. And I found that to be so incredibly hilarious that the dictator of the Soviet Union was sitting there with a red pen and changing dialogue. And the thing of it is I started writing it before
That's right.
Trump was a thought, at least in my head as a politician. And over time, the play has taken on more and more relevance because it's about propaganda, it's about misinformation, it's about authoritarianism, it's about all these things that we are getting slapped around about. So as most plays, it was workshopped here and workshopped there, and then Joe decided that he wanted to do a workshop of it in up in the Berkshire Playwrights Lab, which he ran for many years. For me, that was like, I went, okay, no more workshops. Let's just just do the fucking thing. But what appealed to you about the play? And I'm not looking for compliments here. I'm just looking for for what made you go, okay, this is something that I want to be a part of. I want to make a commitment to see it get a full production.
Well, oddly enough, it's not actually odd. It appealed to me on many different levels. Just first of all, two writers trapped in a room trying to hit a deadline with pressure, whether it's Stalin or the head of MGM,
Right,
is something near and dear to my heart. So it caught me on that, just their anxiety and how they were dealing with it. And they were two very different personalities, as you obviously know. So that was number one. Number two, you set out to write a comedy, and I to compliment you, it's fucking funny. It's just funny, but it's funny also not just this. You made that's like I tell my students, it's a high-stakes situation. Their objective is clear, and the obstacle is clear. And so it's conflict and rising and falling action is a climax and resolution. It's a perfectly structured play.
Well,
it's almost like you read Chekhov.
Me? Chekhov? No. He's only my favorite writer ever.
Also, the word play. I mean, one thing, why are we all writers? We love words. And those guys are writers, and they love words. And so much of this is just about words, and and their meaning, and their connotation, their denotation, all of it. And then really the political thing, because as you said, when we first did the reading, it was 2020. Yeah, so he'd been in office for a while by then. By the time I saw it and did it. Yeah. And it started to feel more and more relevant, and we did those readings online with Tony and Fred and on Zoom.
During COVID. Yeah.
During COVID, yeah.
Yeah, and then we did the one at the Symphony Space.
And then we did Symphony Space when you and I first got to really see it, and it really took off. And that's when I knew, okay, this is a play, and every day, Tom, it becomes more relevant as this idiot continues to do what he does. How far away are we from him? He just stuck his nose into FIFA. How far away from him are we from him rewriting somebody's screenplay?
Yeah.
Not that far.
Yeah. I want you to talk about your career in the sense of that you have done all these things, worked in television and film and on stage, obviously, and you teach. You've stayed in New York, which is a commitment because a lot of writer-directors go west, young man.
True.
Talk about that in the sense of what keeps you here and where you see your next challenge.
Well, my next challenge, I would say, like you, isn't getting another 10, 20 years. That's a big challenge. So I'm hoping for that. In truth, I did live in LA for 7 years.
Which I did too when I was doing St. Elsewhere.
So,
but we were in purgatory. I won't call it hell because that's too rude.
Yeah.
But
the weather's nice.
But we escaped.
Yes, I came back here. Well, my impetus for coming back here was Carol Schneider, my wife, because we got together and started seeing each other, and it's a big commute.
I know
yes,
that.
You will.
Commute
and
too.
I said, that's it. I'm coming back. I told her like 3 months into our relationship, I'm going to sell my house in LA. She went, hold on. Nobody's selling any houses on my behalf. Hold on. Anyway, so I waited another year or two till the market tanked. Then I sold the house and we've been together 20 years. So I was right. Anyway, that's why I came back. But I also came back because it was very difficult to produce theater in LA. I did. I did 3 or 4 plays out there. But so I think once I set foot back here, I thought, I want to do more of this. And that's when Jim Frangione and I and Matt Penn and Bob Jaffe started the theater in the Berkshires, which is in New York, but it's the East Coast. And, theater is just a thing for me. I just...
And right now you're directing a sign language?
Oh, I'm directing a play in London, actually, that Carol wrote that we are now 16 years in. We've done 6 workshops, 3 in London over the years. It's a difficult play to do. It's brilliant. It's performed in sign language and spoken English. Half the cast is deaf, half the cast is hearing. It's about the founding of the first school for the deaf in Hartford, Connecticut in 1814.
Wow.
And so we now have a full production next year in London, a year from now.
Bravo.
But it's taken that. That's how long. That's why you and I are going through your play.
Yeah. I hope I live to see screenplay by Stalin on stage.
Yeah, you're not the only one. It's going to be hard to direct it from the great beyond. Although people will listen. Would you please move stage left?
I am curious. You know, those of us who live in New York and work in New York or on the East Coast, it is a different kind of commitment to the Los Angeles lifestyle. And not that we're better than anybody, you know. I have many New York friends who've moved to California who would never move back.
Me too.
They love the sun and the fun and the whatever smog. But I think for me, and I knowing you as well as I do, I think we both get something out of the mojo of being in the greatest city in the world.
Well, I've always been somebody who is active. But being here, you can't help but be juiced all the time.
Yeah.
Especially when you sit and drink bourbon during an interview. But, there's a New York energy to it. Now, I do counter that. We have a house in Roxbury, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Where I drove down from today, which is infinitely quiet and peaceful. So I need that. You don't need that so much. You thrive on this 7 days a week. I don't.
Yeah.
But I do need it.
Yeah.
So for me, I like having both things.
Do you have an apartment here?
Yeah, Carol had, when we got together, Carol had a place on the Upper West Side. She sold it, bought the place in Washington Heights. So that's our place in Washington Heights. Then we bought the house in Roxbury. So it's perfect.
Yeah,
that's 90 minutes away, and we go
Yeah,
back
that's a good commute.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say in the closing minutes of this thing about anything?
Oh,
anything at all? Joe Cacaci, this is your moment to shine.
Yeah, I do want to say something, all kidding aside, because you and I, your moniker there is Sons of Sicilia, and your grandparents, my grandparents, came from Sicily. Well, my mother said they came from Calabria. As teenagers, they knew virtually nobody. There was no communications. They didn't know what the fuck they were getting into, but they got on a boat and they came here. And they were treated poorly for a while.
Yes.
And how anybody with an immigrant background, granted we were born here, cannot be sympathetic to what's going on is beyond me in a nation founded by immigrants, in a nation that's built on the backs of immigrants and the fronts. That's the most racism is baffling to me, and anti-immigrant is equally baffling to me. I don't get it. And that's one of the reasons that I want to try and fight this. But it was ever thus, my parents, grandparents have stories. My father was locked in a closet at 7 years old by his teacher in Harlem because he wouldn't speak English.
Oh,
he couldn't speak English.
Yeah.
Because they spoke Italian and all.
Yeah.
So, that was only 100 years ago, but,
it's recent.
Within recent. So I think that's the biggest scourge of all of this.
Yeah. No, that's an excellent thing for you to say. So, my friend, thank you very much for participating in this episode of On the Rocks. And God bless you.
Appreciate it, Tom. Thank you.
Oh, how sweet it is.
I wonder how many people know what that is from these days. I bet not a lot.